Hey 49ers faithful, we're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates on our beloved San Francisco 49ers. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any breaking news or exciting updates about the Niners. The NFL world was turned upside down this week as whispers, rumors, and unconfirmed reports began swirling around what could be one of the most sensational quarterback trade stories in league history. According to multiple insider sources close to the situation, the San Francisco 49ers have allegedly made a jaw-dropping offer for Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. While nothing has been confirmed officially by either franchise, the possibility alone has sent shockwaves through media circles, locker rooms, and fan bases across the country. The 49ers, already a Super Bowl caliber team, are reportedly willing to go all in for the reigning face of the league. If this is true, it would represent one of the boldest and most unprecedented moves in NFL history. A franchise quarterback in his prime, with multiple MVPs and Super Bowl rings, being courted in such a manner isn't something we see every day, or ever. And yet here we are trying to process the idea that the most valuable player in football could be at the center of a massive, potentially league-altering trade proposal. The NFL, it seems, may never be the same again if this rumor turns out to be true. What makes this rumor even more explosive is the level of detail that's reportedly been leaked. Sources claim that the 49ers front office has already structured a complex multi-year offer that includes 3 first-round draft picks, 2 second-rounders, a current Pro Bowl defensive starter, and quarterback Brock Purdy. That's not just a blockbuster. It's an organizational gamble, the likes of which we've rarely seen. It shows just how serious San Francisco is about finally getting over the Super Bowl hump. With one of the league's most complete rosters, the only thing they've arguably lacked in recent years is a transcendent, game-breaking quarterback. And let's be honest, there's no one more transcendent than Mahomes right now. He's been compared to legends, revolutionized the quarterback position, and has an almost supernatural ability to win games in clutch moments. Bringing him to the Bay Area wouldn't just shake up the NFC. It would blow the doors off the entire NFL landscape. Teams would have to reevaluate their blueprints. Coaches would scramble to re-strategize. And the Chiefs? They'd be forced into a post-Mahomes era far earlier than anyone imagined. Of course, many are calling this rumor completely insane. Chiefs fans are in denial, media personalities are skeptical, and even some players around the league have voiced disbelief. Patrick Mahomes is the kind of generational talent that franchises build dynasties around, not trade away. Yet even about the most far-fetched stories sometimes have a kernel of truth. Insiders are adamant that the Chiefs are at least listening, which is shocking in itself. The idea that Mahomes could even be considered tradable suggests a level of internal tension, financial strain, or perhaps even philosophical divergence behind closed doors. Could it be that Kansas City is quietly preparing for a future without its star quarterback? Or are they simply leveraging interest to drive up the value of potential future deals for other assets? Either way, the silence from the Chiefs' front office has only added fuel to the speculation. Their refusal to deny the rumor outright has made fans even more anxious. If there's truly nothing to it, wouldn't it be easier to just squash it immediately? Meanwhile, over in San Francisco, the buzz is deafening. Social media is flooded with fan-made mock-ups of Mahomes in a 49ers jersey, and local reporters are scrambling for scraps of inside info. Kyle Shanahan, known for his tight-lipped demeanor, hasn't commented, but there are murmurs that he's been obsessed with Mahomes since the 2017 draft. In fact, some believe Shanahan still regrets passing on Mahomes back then, instead choosing to stick with his system-first philosophy. That approach has worked to an extent. The 49ers have been consistent playoff contenders, and their defense has been top tier. But the quarterback position has always felt like a patchwork, from Jimmy Garoppolo to Trey Lance to Brock Purdy. Imagine plugging Mahomes into that offense with weapons like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. It's not just dangerous, it's terrifying. The 49ers wouldn't just be favorites in the NFC, they might become unstoppable. And it's that vision that reportedly has the San Francisco front office willing to put it all on the line. The question now becomes, Would Mahomes even entertain the idea of leaving Kansas City? Publicly, he's always expressed loyalty to the key Chiefs and their fans. He's repeatedly praised head coach Andy Reid and has deep roots in the organization. But things change quickly in the NFL. Brady left New England, Rodgers left Green Bay. And there's a growing belief among some analysts that Mahomes might want a fresh challenge. Maybe he's tired of carrying a roster that's seen key pieces depart. Maybe he's frustrated with the pressure to win it all every single year. Or maybe he sees in San Francisco what Tom Brady saw in Tampa Bay, a stacked team just one elite quarterback away from total domination. It's all conjecture at this point, but the rumors won't die. In fact, they're only gaining steam, especially with reports that Mahomes has spoken privately with players on the 49ers roster during off-season events. Coincidence? Maybe. But in today's NFL, there are no coincidences. Financially, this potential trade would be monumental. Mahomes' contract is one of the richest in sports history, and any team absorbing it would have to make serious adjustments. But the 49ers are reportedly prepared to do just that. Rumors say they've already contacted several veteran players about restructuring deals to free up cap space, and some agents have been told to prepare for major movement. This is the kind of maneuver that would typically take months of back-channel negotiations. But sources say San Francisco's front office has been laying the groundwork quietly for weeks. And perhaps most telling of all, Brock Purdy is gone. Silent on social media, sparking even more speculation that he may be involved in the deal. Would the Chiefs accept Purdy as a bridge quarterback? Possibly. He's proven he can win games. But he's no Mahomes. Then again, who is? That's the paradox the Chiefs now face. Do they cash in now and reset, or hold on to a once-in-a-generation player for as long as they can? Fans around the league are already bracing for the possibility of a seismic shift. If Mahomes truly leaves Kansas City, it changes everything. The AFC becomes wide open, the NFC gets a new titan, and suddenly matchups that used to feel predictable now come with a whole new level of drama. Think about a Mahomes vs. Hurts NFC championship, or Mahomes vs. Rodgers in the same conference. The ripple effects would be massive, not just for the teams involved, but for broadcast deals, ticket sales, fantasy football, and even Vegas odds. This isn't just a player trade, it's a cultural event. And while it's still wrapped in secrecy and denials, it has the entire NFL community on edge. Whether it's true or not, it speaks volumes about how the league is evolving. Star players are no longer untouchable. No one is immune to movement. And in an era where loyalty is fleeting, even a player like Patrick Mahomes can find himself at the center of a trade hurricane. And what about the Chiefs' long-term vision? If these rumors are more than just noise, it raises deep questions about the franchise's priorities. Are they looking to rebuild around youth and flexibility? Is there tension between Mahomes and the front office? Could Andy Reid be planning his eventual exit and the organization sees this as a moment to reset before a full overhaul? There are so many layers to this, and yet no clear answers. What we do know is that Kansas City has been unusually quiet. Lately, their moves in free agency have been cautious. Their draft was low-key, and Mahomes himself has been seen less in public, skipping some usual off-season events. That could mean nothing, or it could mean everything. Fans deserve transparency, but for now, all they're getting are whispers, and those whispers are growing louder with each passing day. Could it all be smoke and mirrors? Possibly. But where there's smoke, there's often fire. And right now, the flames of this rumor are lighting up the NFL sky like never before. Patrick Mahomes would actually land in San Francisco, the NFL would enter a completely new era. Think about the implications, not just for the 49ers or the Chiefs, but for the entire league. The NFC would instantly become Mahomes' new playground, and every defensive coordinator on that side of the conference would start losing sleep. Teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Lions, who've been building elite rosters to dominate the NFC, would suddenly have to pivot. All their plans would have to be Mahomes-centric. Every offseason move, every draft pick, every contract would have to be made with him in mind. The 49ers would essentially become the standard everyone else is trying to match or beat. It wouldn't just be about winning, it would be about stopping the greatest quarterback of his generation, now armed with the most dangerous group offensive weapons he's ever had. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Kansas City, meanwhile, would have no choice but to reevaluate everything. From ownership to coaching to player development, a Mahomes departure would send shockwaves through the organization. It would mark the end of an era defined by flashy comebacks, highlight reel throws, and unforgettable playoff moments. Sure, they might get a massive return in draft capital and solid players like Brock Purdy in the deal, but that doesn't replace a generational superstar. The locker room dynamic would shift. The offensive identity would shift, and Andy Reid, assuming he stays on, would be tasked with rebuilding a new culture from the ground up. And if Reid is considering retirement in the next few years, as some insiders quietly suggest, that puts even more urgency on the front office to have a long-term plan. Trading Mahomes might seem like suicide to fans now, but if the internal writing's on the wall, maybe this is the team trying to rip the Band-Aid off before a slow decline begins. Still, nothing could prepare that fan base for the emotional blow of seeing number 15 in another jersey. On the business side, the NFL itself would undergo a shock. Mahomes is a marketing powerhouse, the face of countless ad campaigns, and a central figure in national television deals. Moving him from Kansas City, a mid-market team, to San Francisco, one of the largest media markets in the country, would shift billions in branding and visibility. It would also tilt primetime matchups. Suddenly, every 49ers game would become must-watch television. The league would need to scramble to adjust scheduling, flex games, and leverage Mahomes' new surroundings for maximum viewership. Merchandise would explode. Stadium ticket prices would spike. Fantasy football platforms would reconfigure rankings. Overnight, it would be a media frenzy with very real financial consequences. The NFL thrives on star power, and moving its brightest star to the Bay Area would trigger a gold rush, not just in wins, but in revenue. Sponsors, networks, and digital platforms would all try to cash in, and that would make the 49ers the hottest brand in football overnight. Even locker room dynamics across the league could be affected. Think about players who are entering free agency soon. If Mahomes is now with the 49ers, you better believe top-tier veterans will consider taking pay cuts to join that roster. Wide receivers, offensive linemen, even defensive stars would want in on that action. It's not just about money anymore. It's about rings, legacy, and being part of a super team. We've seen it in the NBA, and now the NFL might get its version of a player-driven dynasty. Mahomes would be the magnet, San Francisco would be the destination, and other NFC teams would scramble to either do the same or build defenses specifically tailored to deal with him. And while Purdy is no slouch and has done well with the 49ers system, he simply doesn't strike the same fear into opponents that Mahomes does. That's why this deal, even if it remains a rumor, has become the talk of every locker room, training camp, and front office in the country. Let's not forget the psychological effect on Mahomes himself. A player like him thrives on competition, but he also plays with a chip on his shoulder. If he feels unwanted or underappreciated by Kansas City, even slightly, this could fuel the next phase of his career. Moving to a new city with new fans, new media, and a new challenge could reinvigorate him. And let's face it, Mahomes has already accomplished nearly everything possible in Kansas City. Maybe this rumor is born from quiet conversations behind the scenes. Maybe he's the one who initiated a soft inquiry. Maybe the 49ers just caught wind of some hesitancy and pounced. Whatever the origin, Mahomes would arrive in San Francisco with something to prove, and that should terrify the rest of the league. A motivated Mahomes surrounded by elite talent and led by one of the best offensive minds in football? That's not fair. It's science fiction. But we also have to acknowledge the emotional element for fans. Chiefs Kingdom would be devastated. Mahomes isn't just a quarterback. He's a symbol of hope, pride, and possibility. He changed the narrative for a franchise long haunted by near misses and playoff heartbreak. To see him leave, especially in the prime of his career, would be crushing. Jerseys would be burned, tears would be shed, trust in the front office would collapse. And even if the return package was objectively strong, it wouldn't feel like enough. Because how do you measure what Mahomes means to Kansas City? How do you replace that? You don't. You just survive it. And for the 49ers, their fan base would explode with anticipation. Decades after Montana and Young, they'd finally have another quarterback worthy of the same tier. The nostalgia, the excitement, the dreams of new dynasties. It would be pure football theater. In the end, whether this rumor turns into a real deal or fades into off-season fantasy, one thing is certain. The NFL is listening. The media is watching. And the fans, they're already imagining a future that might feel impossible, but also strangely inevitable. That's the power of a name like Patrick Mahomes. When his name is attached to any potential movement, it's not just a story. It's a saga, a drama, a fever dream that fans and analysts alike can't look away from. Could Mahomes really be wearing red and gold? Not Chiefs red, but 49ers red this season? Could the league be on the cusp of the most shocking trade in its 100-year history? Maybe, maybe not, but the rumor exists and it's not going away. Until someone shuts it down, we're all going to keep watching, speculating, and wondering, what if? Because in today's NFL, the line between fiction and reality is thinner than ever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.